or it could stop at 2,000 people. We have no idea. We have no idea how bad it can get. We don't know how long we're going to be locked in. So, and it's probably going to be a while before we have all the information. Just I think from my background growing up in a war, we started seeing the news in China and started getting prepared. We got food reserves, not a long time, but a couple of weeks we could be okay. We even bought an extra freezer. Well, the dates are an excellent idea. People cross the desert with a handful of dates. You can eat one or two for a whole day and have your calories. Past 2 weeks, I don't know what we will do. I don't think it's responsible to hoard for months and months. I see people doing that, and they're just taken away from people who may have come late to the game and started thinking about this a little too late, didn't take it seriously at the beginning, and you don't want to take away from them. So ideally, we can do it 2 week by 2 week at a time, and stores will stay open and pharmacies will stay open, which is the plan so far we've heard.
So tell me, have you considered buying guns before?
Yeah, I was considering it for sport shooting, but it wasn't nothing urgent. And at some point I had one, but now we're thinking about it for home defense. In case once people want to come in and rob your food and supplies because they didn't plan, and all sorts of crazy things can happen.
Olivia, Daniel, I need help, please. My grandma grew up during World War II. She was a young girl, maybe like 18, during that time, and she told us stories, how difficult it was. At certain point, they didn't have anything to eat. She told me those scary stories where she had to go and dig in the trash and pull like potato peels and boil potato peels, and that was their dinner at one time. So it's scary. This situation made us think of the nearest future. What if you're stuck at home? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do if the kids are hungry? How am I gonna feed them when I cannot get out of the house? Garlic is antiviral, so we need to swallow it on an empty stomach. But sometimes I cannot catch those kids before they grab a bowl of cereal. So, did you swallow? Yeah, we're not sure if it's gonna actually help, but they say it should be. С водой. Запиваем. And all the emergency feeling that you have around everything that's happening reminds me of war back in Lebanon. We used to spend weeks in the shelter with bombs falling around us. There was no food, there was no running water, there was no electricity. People did food runs in the middle of bombing. I mean, they would wait for the bombs to slow down a little bit, and they would get in their car and go to the bakery or go to the supermarket. The bakery would open for a few hours. You go in, you get in line, you get some bread, you get some water. You have to go to the reservoir locally and get some water and bring it back. If you were lucky enough to get some gas, you could go line up at the gas station, get gas, put it in a generator, if you were lucky enough to have a generator, and then you had light and maybe a little TV. So I think we're very lucky with the situation here. It's still not pleasant, and it's still very important for people to stay isolated, but it's nothing compared to what we had during the war. I came from Russia in 2001, right at the summer before 9/11. It was morning. We heard a knock on the door. It was our American young friends knocking on the door and telling us the war started. The first thought in my head was that there might be a chance of me not being able to go back to Russia, not being able to see my mom and my dad, my brother. This situation with coronavirus and restrictions on traveling, it is scary. I spoke with my mom a couple of days ago, and she said that there is something I need to ask you. If I get sick, do not come. And it's sad. You kind of think that there might be a chance if your relative or your close one would die, you will not be able to go there and say your last goodbye to them.